Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear Riyadh Salihin, second year secondary, and welcome back to a new lesson. Your teacher today is Mr. Sabra Azam. To get started, get out your student's book, your Megable student's book, and open it to Unit 5, page 70 and 71. Page 70 and 71. Today's lesson is grammar, and its title is the subjunctive. Subjunctive. Yes, subjunctives mean severe. We use the subjunctive to stress the importance of urgency, the importance or urgency of an action. We use subjunctive to stress the importance or urgency of an action. The subjunctive uses the base form of verb. The base form of verb, that is the infinitive. We use the infinitive in the subjunctive form. Look at these examples. The manager insisted that he worked late. The manager insisted, and concentrate on the verb and the word that after the verb, then he, subject, and work, infinitive, late. Yes. It is important that you be at the meeting. You be at the meeting. You have that, you, and infinitive be. Yes, the subjunctive is used with certain verbs and expressions like the following. Then we have to say that the subjunctive goes with specific verbs and expressions, like the verb ask, demand, insist, recommend, request, require, suggest, urge. It is essential, it is imperative, it is important, it is necessary. The subjunctive follow the sentence pattern. It have a pattern. Subjunctive have a pattern. Verb or expression, one of these verbs or expression first. Then the word that, plus subject. It is usually a pronoun. It is usually a pronoun or name, that's subject, plus not base verb. If we have base verb, it's okay. And if we do not, and if we want to make it negative, we put the word not before the base. The word not before the base. This is an example. It is essential, and it is one of the expressions. It is essential. Then the word that. Then a subject. You here is a subject. You here is a subject. Then the verb, the base verb, that is dress, appropriately. Appropriately, yes. Another example. She asked that we not be late. We not be late. She asked. We have the verb asked. Then that. The word that. Then a pronoun. That is the subject. And not because it is negative. Then the base verb be, then late. Okay, let's move to another point. I'd like you plus infinitive. I'd like you plus infinitive. I want you to plus infinitive. Two common phrases used to express a desire that someone do something are. I'd like you plus infinitive, and I want you to plus infinitive. When I say I'd like you to help with this project, I'd like you to help with this project means I have the desire that you may help me in this project. I want you to finish the report this afternoon. I want you to report, to finish the report this afternoon. Okay, let's move to some exercise that may clarify the point. In this exercise, we have to rearrange the words and phrases to form sentence. The first one is done for you. Ask, I work on weekend, my manager, often, and that. So the correct order is my manager often asks that I work on the weekend. Who will do number one? He that bring his resume to the interview, then he recommended. And the correct order is he recommended that he bring his resume to the interview. Let's move to number two. I to tell me, want you about any problem you have. Then the correct order is I want you to tell me about any problems you have. Number three, that it is imperative. Wash his hands before entering the operating room, the doctor. So the correct order is it is imperative that the doctor wash his hands before entering the room, the operating room, entering the operating room. Yes. Then let's move to number four, not demanding, not demanded. The boss, he be late again, that. Yes, the boss demanded that he not be late again. Let's move to number five, that you go home early, if you're not feeling well, insist. And the correct order is, if you are not feeling well, I insist that you go home early. Let's move to number six. You applying for the job, like to consider it. Yes, I insist that you go home early. If that is number one, I'd like you to consider applying for the job. Let's move to number seven. I look for a job in sales, suggest that my job counselor. And the correct answer is my job counselor suggested that I look for a job in sales. Let's move to number eight. Not that you quit your job before you find a new one. It is essential. Yes, it is essential that you not quit your job before you find a new job or a new one. Let's move to number nine. The waiting room, the nurse, that be kept quiet, requested. Yes, and the correct answer, the nurse requests that the waiting room be kept quiet. And number 10, that race car driver, it is important, the necessary safety precautions take. And the correct answer, it is important that race car drivers take the necessary precautions. Okay. That is the end of our lesson. Goodbye for now. I'm wishing to see you in the next lesson, inshallah.